Hey guys, this is Satyajit and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we shall be talking about the learning path in the field of data science, or I would say, what does a data scientist do in his day-to-day activity? Now, if you look at this particular image, you would see that we start with business understanding. That's the basic step, I would say, that's the initial stage which a data scientist goes through. Now, business understanding is a must, domain knowledge is a must. In order to give some analytics consulting or give some views from the revenue point of view, if you're giving some ideas to some company, to some finance company or some telecom company where you are working with, to give some ideas to implement in the field of data science, you should have a good business understanding. You should have a very good domain knowledge. Now, next step is going to be selecting the right types of problems to solve. When you talk to various customer specific teams, or I would say the higher management, which a data scientist does in his day to day activities, my activities are like 50% I have these kind of roles and 50% I have roles of building models. Coming on to that particular point, now when you have multiple options coming in, or multiple opinions, or I would say multiple problems coming in from the customer specific teams, now your next step is going to be jotting down the points and analyzing them. So when you analyze, to initially start analyzing each one of them in terms of revenue generation for the company, because that's why data scientists are hired in a very larger pay scale, and that's what your main motive is. You have to give suggestions, you have to give analytics consulting so that the company can be beneficial with respect to revenue. So when you have the problems jotted down, you have to analyze them and prioritize them. So when you prioritize them, you keep the highest impacted problem as a first point, and then you keep noting down the points. That's where your right types of measures come into the picture. Now, picking successful measures, you have to understand that, okay, if I'm starting with this particular problem, what are the challenges going to be happening? What should be the strategy? That's where your strategic decision making starts. Your next step is going to be collecting data. Now, once you have initially you had five different problem statements, now you analyzed and prioritized that, okay, this is going to be a number one, so let's pick this particular one and let's proceed. So your very first point is going to be collection of data. Now, collection of data can happen from multiple teams. So when you start collecting data, there are chances that, let's say take an example of a customer churn prediction. You start collecting data, maybe you can find all the customer related information in the customer management database, and related to the customer calls, maybe you need to talk to the service management team, or you can say the support team, because customers do call to the customer care if they are happy, or if they have any problem. This can also be added into the problem statement. So that's where your collection of data comes into picture. You have to convert your unstructured data to structured data, and that's where you finalize the data, and that's where you hand over the data to the ground level worker, I would say the machine learning engineer, or some data scientists who are working on the particular problem statement building. So collection of data, and then it's going to be preparation of data. Understanding the data is basically your initial stage. That's your data analyst role. Definitely it can be done by a data scientist as well. Understanding the data, getting insights, getting knowledge about the data, what the data is telling to you. So all this kind of information is got in the understanding data phase. Now, feature engineering is nothing but understanding which features are helping you out, which features are not going to help you out. So there are some manual processes, or there can be some non-manual process, or I would say some automated processes. Like manual processes can be, let's say you are building a customer churn prediction model. Let's say you want to prepare a model where you want to predict the customers who are going to leave your system, and let's say you have already collected the customer data like customer ID, customer name, customer bandwidth, customer contract type, and lot more information. Do you think that customer name is going to help in the model? Do you think that if your name is Amit or Sumit, you are most likely to churn? No, right? So these kind of steps, like you have to remove the customer ID, because customer ID is a randomly generated number, right? If you use that in your model can be misinterpreted, because ultimately you are feeding numbers to the models. Computers doesn't know about all these categorical values like are they customer ID, are they customer gender, or the customer names, right? So these kind of steps or data cleansing activity, I would say that is under your feature engineering step. There can be some scenarios where we don't understand which feature is important, which feature is not. There can be 100 more features, there can be 1,000 more features, right? So in those kind of scenarios, you can take help of some feature selection or some algorithms, which definitely will be understanding in the future slides. PCA, principal component analysis, linear discriminant analysis, QDA, kernel PCA, these are some of the algorithms which you can use as a feature selection process. So after these steps are done, we go to the model building phase. That's basically where you build your first model. Exploring models, finding rapid insights, and evaluating models are basically your testing phase, where you evaluate your model, how your model is behaving with this particular data. Now let's change the data. Let's see how the model behaves on unseen data. These kind of mix and match you do. So that's basically your exploring models, evaluating models, and all those things. That's where you try your models with various classifiers or with various algorithms and see how your model performs. Now, after evaluation is done, when you finalize the model, that's where you take a mutual decision with the data engineering team, and that's where you finalize the model. Now, coming to the last two circles, which is your model iteration and model deployment, that's basically a bidirectional kind of activity, because for the first time you can go for a model deployment phase, but let's say your model is built on 6 months of data, and after 3 months model accuracy decreases. There are chances, because new data has come in which has not been trained, there are chances that the accuracy might go down. There are some feature engineering steps to be redone because new data has come in, right? So what you have to do is you take back the model again, redo the all the steps again, do the feature engineering again, feed the model with 9 months of data, and then again finalize the model and again deploy it. So this is a iterative process, because in machine learning you have to train your model again and again with the latest data. So basically model iteration and model deployment comes, it's a bi-directional. So that's where your final models are built, and that's where the activity of data scientist finishes. So I hope you got a little jinx of what a data scientist does in his day-to-day activity and what is the learning path in the field of data science from the data scientist point of view. And that's it for today's video. In the next video we shall be talking on some basic FAQs as well.